So I've been playing Roblox since 2018, right? And I've played a very lot of games. I've played my fair share of Roblox games over the past, 8 years that I've been playing the game. I've played on multiple different accounts. I've played hella games. Some I've spent hundreds, if not thousands of hours playing. And just I've played all sorts of games from way back then. Natural disaster survival, work at a pizza place. I mean, damn, the Plaza, bro, one of my all-time favorites. But another game that I always come back to, not super often, but pretty much every time I take a break from Roblox for a substantial period of time, one of the first games I always come back to is Murder Mystery 2. And that's just because that game has a really special place in my heart. It was one of the first games I ever played on Roblox in general once I actually made an account, because way back when guests used to exist, that's how I used to play Roblox. I used to play Roblox under a guest account at my grandma's house and on my laptop, mostly at my grandma's house because I didn't really get to use my laptop that much at home. But I used to play Roblox exclusively as a guest, but eventually those were discontinued. And I made an account, obviously being Nikki Boss Warrior, and I made that account in like July of 2018. And ever since then, one of the games that I put the most time into was Murder Mystery 2. It was a game that I always loved playing before, and now that I had an account that could keep progress, I could level up, I could get all the cool guns and knives that I seen in YouTube videos and seen other people in the game have, I could finally, get those. So I've played MM2 for a really, really long time. But the point of this video is I'm not trying to nostalgia bait, nostalgia farm, or, you know, be a grumpy old man and complain about, oh, it was so much better back in my day or anything like that. I'm not trying to do all that. But I'm just trying to say, I personally feel like old MM2 was better. And I don't think that's a crazy thing to say because other people have the same belief as me. Because I know that because there are dozens and dozens and dozens of remakes of MM2. Like there are dozens of games that are um, basically copies of MM2, but specifically based around the like 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018 MM2. And I know that specifically because I've played them, but also I made one of them. I have my own old MM2 recreation. Mine's not as good as some of the other ones because I made that like 3 years ago or even longer. I don't really know. I'll put it up on the screen, obviously, but I myself loved old MM2. Back when I played the game, dead bodies used to look like this. There used to be, there was no there was no victory screen. When the sheriff would kill the murderer, it wouldn't make like a big boom sound. It would just be a gunshot, and then everyone would be back to the lobby. And now, obviously, I know the game is a lot more polished, a lot more higher quality now, and I appreciate the game for all of that. When I say this, I'm not saying new MM2 is ass. I still love MM2. I've been playing MM2 actually a lot recently, um, because I've gotten my hands on some of my favorite godlies from way back when I used to play the game a long time ago. I had two godlies that I really adored, that being the laser gun and the Xmas knife. I now have both of them, so I've been enjoying playing the game and trading a lot more. So recently, I've actually really loved MM2, but MM2 is a game that I haven't played a whole lot in the last like 6 years, basically since like 2020 or 2021, whenever they dropped the season 1 update. I haven't really played the game that much since then. That's why I'm saying, like, I enjoyed old MM2 a lot more, just because it had like a charm to it. Like, now I feel like it's too, like, back then, I don't really know how to explain it, but the game was just a lot more about the gameplay and a lot less about the the items. Like, now I feel like no one really cares too much about the whole murder mystery gimmick, I guess, like not knowing who the murderer is. Like, now, like way back when, I used to watch YouTube videos, obviously, on the game. I'll just use Big B Stats for an example because he was one of the people I watched the most of. But there's other YouTubers like Ant and Twisted Pandora, all them OG MM2 YouTubers, right? But in Big B Stats' videos, right, he would be like, walking around, and it would actually be a mystery who the murderer was. The murderer would not pull out their knife and immediately kill half the lobby the second the 10 minute or the 10-second or 15-second grace period is over. Now that has happened to me so many times where I'm walking around and I just happen to spawn by the murderer, and as soon as they get their weapon, I'm dead. Like, I literally, yesterday, I died, and in the game recap screen, it literally said 2 seconds, survived 2 seconds. I did not get to play at all. That's annoying. I don't like how that gameplay loop goes now. Back then, people would actually try to, like, be discreet about them being the murderer. Now, obviously, there would still be the psychopath killers here and there, but for the most part, people would actually try to make the murderer a mystery, like the name suggests. And like I said, just the old art style, all the old UI and stuff, it has a special place in my heart, and that might be why I prefer it, because obviously I grew up playing MM2, and I grew up playing MM2 during that time period. Obviously, there's going to be people who prefer it now, but back to what I said before, I feel like now most of the people that play the game are only worried about the items. Back then, they used to just be cool cosmetics that you could get on the side. People wouldn't care too much about, oh, I haven't gotten the latest godly, or, back then they used to just collect cool items. They didn't care about the value of items now. Now, if you want to trade someone something, they're going to pull up MM2 values and look at the value of it, and if it's not close or it's not like a win, they're just not going to trade it to you. Now, that's not always the case, but for the most part, it is mostly the case. Most people do only care about the value of the items now, and now they have all the chromas and stuff that they added with the season 1 update. Actually, I don't know if they came out during the season 1 update, but I'm pretty sure chromas came out during the season 1 update. But now there's chromas, there's Evo weapons, there's trophy weapons, there's all these collector items that people exclusively play the game to just collect and trade and all that. And that's cool. I mean, I don't care that much. I mean, if that's what people want to do, right? But it's just, for me, I just feel like old MM2 just had a charm that it doesn't have anymore. And it's just, as well as the fact that I don't really like how many transactions are in the game now. Back when I used to play the game, each crate costed 200 coins. 200. It costs 1,000 now. They literally increased the price by 5 times now, and now they have the godly bundles that each cost $45 to get if you want both of them, or or a knife or gun that each cost $20 separate. I don't like that either. I don't like how everything is just inflation. Like, it's all the prices have been inflated. The game does not update very much. I don't think it ever has really updated all that much, but I know for a fact now they only update like 3 times a year, maybe four. They don't update very often. And by update, I mean like big updates. I don't mean the game file got updated. I mean like they release events or like content updates like 3 times a year. They always do Halloween, they always do Christmas, and then they normally do like one or two other events for other holidays. Sometimes they do Valentine's Day, sometimes they do Easter, sometimes they do, I don't know if they've done St. Patrick's Day. I feel like they have. Um I feel like or not, I feel like they have done 4th of July before. That's how the Old Glory and the Mare Laser and all that kind of stuff. But like they don't update enough, and when they do update, I feel like the updates are so focused on just the items, which obviously they always have been, back in 2018 and 2017 and all the events, they always have the godly because that's like the prize for doing the event. Obviously, I understand that, but I'm saying now people like religiously play the events so that they can get the trophy items that are like one of one, rather than just playing the event to get the godly and then going back to just playing the game, which is what people used to do. Now it's like specifically they're only playing the game for that event, I guess. Now, I don't know if that's the case for everyone. Maybe I'm alone on this, but I wanted to rant a little bit about, obviously MM2, old MM2, and, it was just something I had on the tip of my tongue, and I just felt like I wanted to talk about, especially because I don't really post anymore. Now this video could definitely go on my Yap channel. It's not going to though, because I have not posted on my main in like a year, and I need something to post, so I'm gonna post this. And go ahead and subscribe to that Yap channel though, because I will probably start grinding on there soon, because I graduate in like 3 weeks, so I don't have very much time left in school. And once I graduate, I'll have a lot more time to do YouTube, so I will try to grind over the summer. And yeah, so that was that. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all later. Bye bye.